I said, let me tell you something. Number one, I don't care about the Royals. I'm here for the Giants. Number two, I said, I don't care about a signed ball from the Royals. You haven't won shit, and the Giants have won World Series. They were going to eventually lose that in Game 7. Number three, I'm allergic to seafood. And number four, I don't care about the owners. I'm staying right here.
Okay, so you're behind home plate last night at the All-Star game. First of all, what was your favorite moment from last night?
My favorite moment from last night was telling everybody behind home plate when it looked like there was going to be no more hits about the fifth inning. I said, quick, if you can get on the thing and bet like FanDuel, bet over 5 runs total. That's what it was.
That would have been a lot.
And then all of a sudden, when I told everybody that, there was 4 runs scored by the bottom of the inning and 4 runs. After I told everybody to quick bet the over, and there was 8 runs scored in the next 2 half innings, and everybody thought I was a god behind there. It was great.
How would you rank that? Because you've been at a million things, and I want to get into it, but where would you rank last night's event for you? I mean, you've been to everything, it feels like.
Yeah, so last night was by far the best All-Star game that I've ever been to. And I've been to 14 in a row, and I didn't know, honestly, about the swing off. I was at the game years ago when they stopped it and it was a tie score, like in the 9th inning. They ran out of players. They ran out of everybody had played and pitchers. And I didn't know that they had a swing off. And I kind of felt bad for the guy that was the National League number 3 guy, because he probably wanted at least 1 home run done by the American League so that he could walk up and have 3 shots to be the hero. You know, he gets a home run. Everybody mobs him. He never even got to get in the batter's box.
You're like the most interesting man in sports. We're talking to Marlins Man here. And do you want to be called Larry or Lawrence?
Lawrence.
Okay,
and
Lawrence.
It's funny because when I first started, I was called the creamsicle, the white orange guy. But when I got to San Francisco, because that was 2012, and so when I traveled all over with the Heat, with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, and I went to 27 games in a row that they won, I was the creamsicle. But in San Francisco, they told me that name sucks. And they made up, and they said, you could be Mr. Marlin. Can't be Mr. Marlin, because that's Jeff Conine. What about Mr. 305? Nah, that's Pitbull.
Yeah.
How about Marlins Man? Hey, I like that name. So the Giants fans, specifically a park ranger, is the one that came up with the idea of Marlins Man. And it stuck. And I got to tell you that last night, sitting there, there was only about 20 Marlins fans in the whole place, and 10 of them were related to the guy. But there was a lot of Giants fans there,
really?
Equal to the Yankees. I was stunned.
Wow.
Yankees, Dodgers, and Giants was probably 25% of the whole place.
All right, now I want to rat-a-tat-tat because I got so many questions on this. I remember when you first came out, I want to say it was the World Series when I first noticed you, and then later on, you and 40 Water, E40, the local rapper here from Vallejo, California, you guys would sit like right next to each other. Look, you were partying together. How did this thing begin? Like, give me the superhero origin story for Marlin Man. How did this start?
There's like a good kind of scoop for you. It started actually at the Giants-Cardinals National League Championship Series, where that game, it was pouring rain and like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And they probably should have stopped the game in the 9th when it was a downpour, and it was about 6 inches of water on the infield. But the Giants were winning by like 5 or 6 runs. People just wanted it over. And every pitch, it went harder and harder and harder rain. In fact, for years I had a bobblehead where the Giants pitcher was holding his hands up after he won the game, and you turned the bobblehead over, and like snow, it was a globe, and because it was raining so hard. And that's where it started. And since the Giants were at home for the World Series, I didn't leave, and I stayed. And you played the Tigers, and the Tigers were a huge favorite. They had Scherzer and Verlander. I think the Giants, you could have got like 10-1 on the Giants to win the World Series. And this little fat guy you guys called Panda hit 3 home runs in that game. And Buster Posey, who was Florida State, knew who I was. And after you won the first two, I decided to go to Detroit. And it really hadn't blown up yet because I'm orange in a sea of orange. But when I got to Detroit, I'm the only orange behind home plate. Giants fans didn't go to Detroit. And it was great. And if you ever see the video of when Buster Posey hits the winning home run, you'll notice that he hits the shot, and which you don't see because they follow the ball. He turns and waves at me and does the tomahawk chop from Florida State as he goes to first. Because the whole time he's batting, I'm standing behind home plate doing the tomahawk chop going, It was great. That's a great moment.
I'm just fascinated. How can you afford this lifestyle? I'm being 100% real. Like, did you win some huge settlement? Like, I'm jealous, straight up. I mean, I wish I could be able to go to as many games as you.
I love talking to you. Is this Evan speaking or the other guy?
This is Shasky.
Joe. This is Joe Shasky you're talking to.
So, Joe, I'm going to tell you something. I know it's probably not politically correct, but I'm going to give you the truthful answer because I actually listened to your show at times when I was in San Francisco. No wife, no kids, no overhead.
I know all about that,
sure
my
I'm
man.
going to get in trouble for that.
No, that's great.
Girlfriend, but if I always thought, like last night, I was asked the same question. That's why I knew the answer. A guy asked me, and I said, "How many kids you got? 4? Would you put them through college? Yeah. How much more money would you have in the bank if you didn't have to pay for your wife and your kids? Oh my God! Well, that's me." There you go.
Well, Marlins, man. So I got to assume it came out the other day that the Giants are the front runners to host the 2028 MLB All-Star Game. Is it safe to assume that if that happens, we can see you here in San Francisco in a few years?
There's no question. As you guys have seen, I have my imposter that goes there a bunch.
Yep.
And I become friends with Larry. And you mentioned E40 and how that came about. That came about because when the Giants went to the next World Series against the Royals, and by then I was a huge Giants fan. I had been to the World Series where you beat the Rangers, but I wasn't Marlins man. You didn't see me. You didn't notice me. But I was there when you beat the Rangers. And then you beat also the Tigers, and I was there for that. Well, when you went to play the Royals, sitting next to me in the first row was E40. And that's how we became friends. He saw me in orange, and he says, "You got the wrong orange on." I go, "This is a better orange, except you're a better team." And ironically, I was so shocked. Do you guys realize the Giants changed their jerseys? It used to be a different color orange. Everywhere I was looking, the orange they use now is the Marlins orange. And the Astros did the same thing. Back then, the Astros, the Orioles, and the Giants had a different color orange. It was more like blackish orange, let's say.
It was darker.
And the Marlins had this new orange. You guys, your jersey looks better than the Marlins. Yours has those pinstripes down the middle. And I noticed everybody was wearing, I think you call it your City Connect jersey or something.
Yep.
There's a name for it. But everybody's wearing that new orange now in San Francisco.
So, all right, you and E40, did you guys hang out after the game? Did you get to burn one with him? I mean, he's a big drinker.
I got to tell you guys, he can outdrink me by far. That guy can drink like a fish.
So, all right, now I want to know, because you're one of the most interesting men in sports, period. End of discussion. Give me your favorite sports moment or game that you've been to, because it feels like you've been to everything. So just fire away.
All right. So number one, I already told you, ironically, that doesn't get a lot of press, is the National League Championship Series for the Cardinals. After the game was over, my secretary, Lisa, who had me go with her, we walked outside, and there must have been 100,000 people out there. Everybody from San Francisco came downtown, and it was pouring rain. People were climbing on the statues. They were climbing up the trees, and I was out till like 4 a.m. That was awesome for the Giants because when you think about it, the Giants won all 3 World Series away. They never got to have a celebration at home, okay? And I also was there when the Warriors won their championship, and that was great, especially as I didn't like Cleveland or LeBron James. So anyhow, that was a great moment. Another one that was great in baseball was I was in Chicago, and they were playing the Nationals. Nationals are winning 1-0, and they're no-hitting the Cubs. The Cubs get a hit in the 8th. And in the top of the ninth, Nationals scored 2 runs. It's a Sunday night baseball game. And probably everybody left the stadium. They got to work the next day. It's a work day. It's like 12 o'clock at night already, and they're losing 3-0, and there's 2 outs in the game. And the next guy gets a walk. The next guy, there's a hit batter, and then I think there's a balk and then a walk. And all of a sudden, it's bases loaded, 2 outs, and they bring up a guy named Bodie or Boat, a rookie, pinch hit, rookie, pinch hit. And he has a shot to center field. And in Wrigley Field, it's very dark in center field, not well lit. And the guy, in fact, that was the last stadium to get lights.
Yeah.
I think you know that.
Yes.
And so he jumps up, and he acts like he caught the ball, and he jogs in. And all the fans go, oh. And the Cubs on base go, oh. And all of a sudden, you see the umpire twirling his finger around. He faked the fans out. It was a grand slam, walk-off, home run in the bottom of the ninth.
Wow.
That was unbelievable.
So, all right, we got Marlins Man on. Lawrence, how do you get your tickets? Do you hit the teams up directly? Why do you not have a sponsorship with like Ticketmaster or, SeatGeek or one of these? Like, just give us a little insight into how you conduct business. Like right now, do you know exactly where you're going to the next game?
You're always sitting dead central, right there, where the camera is. We can always see you.
Do you have like a sports calendar? You said you had like an assistant of some sort. Like break down how this works.
So nobody's ever asked that question too. This is great. So the answer is kind of simple. I have a workers' comp law firm, and I have about 45 secretaries. And I became friends behind the scenes with the people who schedule or pick the games. And in return for me not burning them, I know in advance. And so I tell my staff what game it is, and we try and get the tickets. There are 17 cities out of the 30 that I know the guys behind home plate. Initially, I might have got them from a broker, and I don't know how old you guys are, but before SeatGeek and Ticketmaster and StubHub, you had scalpers.
That was me.
You don't hear that word anymore.
I used to do that. I used to do that in front of Candlestick, and then you could get in big trouble back then. The police would pick you up.
Yeah, right. So scalpers was how I used to get them, and then also they came up with a gimmick. The travel agents could sell you a hotel room and throw the tickets in for free. So you buy some room in some Roach Motel, and they would throw the tickets in. And that's how you beat it, till they realize they can make money on sales tax. So now, on 17 of the baseball cities, I know the people behind them. I know the guy for the Cubs. I know the guys for the Giants, let's say. Not the Giants. He sold his. The White Sox. I know the guy for the Brewers. And I had Yankees, Mets, and Marlins. So we started a little group. So if they wanted to go to a game, let's say you're the Rockies guy and you have tickets for the first row, you want to go when the Rockies play the Yankees.
Yep.
You call me up and we talk about what tickets and we barter. That's one way. Another way was StubHub. And when I was spending probably more than $500,000 a year on StubHub, they had assigned my own vice president, and he would also look for the tickets for me for events, not just baseball. And they offered me to sponsor me, put me in TV commercials, and also put StubHub on my jersey. And I decided not to do that. I decided that if somebody gives me something, they want you to say nice stuff about them. I want to be able to rip the crap out of them if I'm pissed off. So I turned down Chick-fil-A, I turned down StubHub, and I turned down Burger King. And I said, I'm not for sale, not for rent. So, that's how you get them. Now, last night, one of the stadiums that I do not have was the Braves. And to my absolute shock, they were selling seats behind home plate. So I bought them, and I was on a mission to find the guy that had them. And so I finally met the guy, and now he's in my network. So now I've got 18 teams out of 30. Now, there are 5. There's no seats behind home plate to sit in. There are 5. Cleveland has a tunnel. The Angels have 2 suites that you can't get. They're both one Scott Boras and one somebody else. Tampa, I can't remember the other. Cleveland, Tampa, Angels. I'll come to my head. Tampa.
Yeah. Tampa's at the Yankee Stadium right now.
So basically now I have 18 out of 25.
Man.
And I have all the good ones. You know, I know the guy at Dodgers. I know the guys, the ones I don't have. I used to have a connection with the Giants. When you guys saw me at the World Series, that guy came to me and said, I own 6 seats here and blah, blah, blah. And he had them for many, many years. But when the Giants got bad, he gave them up. So now I have the Marlins Man imposter guy. He's met a lot of the people, and we either buy them from the Giants or other times. But now my next big event is there in San Francisco, July 27. It is the Giants-Dodgers game on ESPN Sunday night, and it's also the bobblehead night because your mascot, Lucille, made the Bobblehead Hall of Fame, which is a huge thing. And I think there only is about 4 mascots total in baseball in it. And they're putting in Orbit from the Astros and Lucille. So I put a lot of pressure on ESPN. I convinced them to pick that game over Dodgers-Red Sox. They wanted to go Dodgers-Red Sox, Dodgers-Red Sox.
Yeah, you're talking Mets-Giants.
We'll see. Mets-Giants, right.
Yes.
So it's Dodgers-Red Sox is the 27th.
Yep.
That's who they wanted because the Red Sox have been bad for a while and they've won 10 in a row. But I said Mets-Giants is a huge game for the wild card.
I like it.
And so they're doing that game.
Love it. And we're talking to Marlins Man here on 95.7 The Game. Was sitting right behind home plate last night at the MLB All-Star Game. You can catch him on all the biggest games in that bright orange jersey. All right, Marlins Man, I got to ask you, as someone who's been to all these ballparks, who has seen virtually all of them from the best seat in the house, where does Oracle Park, Pac Bell, SBC, where does it rank for you?
Okay. So, by the way, how many names has that stadium had?
Oh, it's had AT&T. It had Pac Bell Park.
It was
SBC.
Yeah, I was at Candlestick. And by the way, that's a very windy stadium.
Yes, it is.
I grew up right there.
I've never seen a pop fly once. It was a carry-out home run. I go, what the hell? Yeah. Okay, and then it wasn't called Oracle in the beginning. What was it called?
It was called AT&T, then SBC, then Pac Bell Park, or in some combination, and now Oracle Park.
Okay, so that's absolutely in my top 5. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it has not only the fans to know what they're doing, the stadium has so much, if you dig and you look, that's hidden in places you got to look. So while you might see, oh, look at the pretty view of the bay and stuff, when you walk around, and of course you see the Coke bottle and the glove, when you walk around you find Ghirardelli chocolate in left field. When you walk outside the stadium, there's a seal statue on center field that nobody ever sees. A statue of a seal. What other stadium has a statue of a seal, by the way?
None.
Okay? And then when you walk on the sidewalk, as you walk on the ground are bronze plaques of famous moments in Giants history. The World Series wins, Bobby Bonds hitting like 200, 300, 400, 500 home runs. I've never seen that, and nobody's copied that. When you walk along McCovey Cove Water on the sidewalk, look on the ground, and you will see all maybe 30 or 40 plaques of famous moments in Giants history. That is awesome.
We call that the Smokers Row.
Is that what it's called?
Well, that's where before weed became legal. That's where everyone would go, blow trees and whatnot.
The only thing, I think that stadium is fantastic. The only thing I would have changed, which is kind of stupid, I'll get to some more cool stuff about it, is I don't understand why your main gift shop, which is gorgeous and one of the best in sports, you can't get to it from inside the stadium.
Yeah, you got to go outside.
Yeah. Let me ask you this one, because we're well versed in AT&T. I'm glad that you love it so much. That makes me feel great.
Wait, one other thing you do, you honor your World Series trophy.
Yep.
When you get to the club level, there's this beautiful display by Tiffany of your World Series championships, and there's a different display case of all the cool artifacts from each World Series win, right?
Yep.
You know where the Marlins keep their World Series trophies?
Upstairs?
No, in foot lockers.
What?
They don't even display them.
Excuse me?
You know why?
No, why?
Because that's the Florida Marlins, not the Miami Marlins.
Oh boy.
You and David Sampson had a beef there, for a while. David Sampson used to run the Marlins, essentially, and, because I want to ask you about, where you haven't been, because I've never seen you at Augusta. I've never seen you at the Masters. I'm kind of surprised. But you and the actual Miami Marlins, Florida Marlins, what happened there? You used to have tickets, but now you don't. Was there a rift? I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just curious as to, what happened between you and the organization.
Okay, so Sampson was great. Jeter was the piece of shit. And I can prove it, and I did many times, and then they eventually left me alone. So what happened with Sampson was Sampson didn't know who the hell I was, nor did he care. And he started getting accused by a lot of the owners of paying me to go around the country to promote his product and disrupt games that I was visiting. So he brought me in his office, and he said, listen, I don't pay you anything. I said, guess what? Correct. I said, but he goes, I need you to tone it down a little bit. I go, I'm not toning it down. Sorry, David. That ain't happening. And so he goes, when you go to another city, though, can you I always behave. He goes, okay. He goes, well, I'm being accused of giving you money to distract from the Royals' success. You're like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Rudolph the Orange-Nosed Reindeer blinking in the middle of a sea of blue at Cubs and Yankees and Mets in Kansas City. I go, yeah, but when I go to San Francisco and when I go to Houston or Baltimore, I still wear orange. I don't wear any other color. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I said, David, do you understand what happened with the Royals? He goes, what do you mean? Now, by the way, guys, there's another scoop for you, unless you follow what happened back then, was I went to the Royals game, and the vice president, I don't know, the vice president came up to me and said, hey, you're distracting the fans from the success of the team. The owner wants to know if you put on a Royals jersey. And I said, no. He goes, how about if I give you a game-signed ball? No. How about if I give you a game-signed ball and a game-signed jersey? No. What about if you go up to the suite over there and you can have stone crab and lobster? I said, let me tell you something. Number one, I don't care about the Royals. I'm here for the Giants. Number two, I said, I don't care about a signed ball from the Royals. You haven't won shit, and the Giants have won World Series. They were going to eventually lose that in Game 7. Number three, I'm allergic to seafood. And number four, I don't care about the owners. I'm staying right here. So he said, well, we have a price. I said, no, there's no problem. I've already researched the law on this. What? Yes. You can't make somebody change clothes if you gave it to them as a present or if you sold it to them. So you can't say it's rude, offensive, and anything. And I had researched this legally because I was a lawyer, one of the head lawyers for Walmart, and I run 3,500 lawyers at that time. I called them my stormtroopers, and they gave me all the research. And back in the 60s, when somebody wore a shirt that said like F-U-C-K-U or something, it was offensive. And they ruled that they could make somebody remove something that was offensive unless you sold it to them or gave it to them. And I totally set them up.
Let me ask you one last question before you get out of here.
Wait. I'm sorry I used POS, but I speak the truth.
It's okay. No. I love that you said that because that's the real. So
let me tell you something about that. Ready? I was so excited when Derek Jeter bought the Marlins. I was so excited someone knew baseball was coming. I didn't foresee he would lie to everybody and he would get rid of everybody knew what they were doing and bring in young, cheap people. And for sure, I know this for a fact, that Stanton was approached by Jeter and said, I have a deal in place to trade you to the San Francisco Giants or the Cardinals. Stanton would have been a Giant or a Cardinal. He said, pick one. And I know this for a fact, and that out of the horse's mouth. And Stanton said, I have a no-trade clause. I don't want to go there. Jeter didn't even know he couldn't trade the guy. So eventually he went to New York, okay? Now, they had a town hall meeting after they traded away Stanton and Yelich and Ozuna and D. Gordon and Romuto. They trade everybody away. The fans are crying. It's like our fifth fire sale. And they have a town hall meeting. And they invite people to talk. And I wasn't going to talk. I was just going to watch. Well, person after person got up there and cried. And the media guys, like you guys, were all texting me, you got to talk, you got to talk. So I got up there and I said, because they said, say your name and what you do and how long you've been a Marlins ticket holder. So everybody, like, my name's Joe Blow. I've been 3 years. I'm an accountant or whatever. So when I got up there, I'm like, everybody knows who I am. So I go, hi, Jeter. My name's Lawrence. I'm a Marlins man. Do you know who I am? And the internet went nuts. The Marlins man said to Derek Jeter, the baseball god, do you know who I am? And the front page of the New York Post was Marlins man saying to Jeter, do you know who I am? And what happened was I laid out a plan that I felt would make the team successful and how they should sell the tickets and everything, organized and logical. And he said, a lot of this is great ideas. You and I will sit down and talk. We can work this out. I thought, this is great. So I said, I got another idea for you, Derek. I'll give you an example. Why don't you jump in the Marlins mobile with me, and let's drive up and down Ocean Drive with cheerleaders in the car. It'll be a huge media event, nationwide press. And he says, I'm not getting in any car with you. And that's what started the war.
I guess. Wow.
Okay?
What an unbelievable story. Hey, look, Marlins, man, thank you so much for your time.
You're the best.
We could talk to you for hours,
Huge
man.
fan.
Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, guys, and I'll be back there July 27th.
Can't wait to talk to you again.
Wait.
Probably with E40.
Let's go.
Let's go.